This is quite a story you're going to hear about a little lady my size who was afraid of nothing except God. She feared God and kept working for him. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Susan Ray Filosa. I am Levina Ammerman's only grandchild. I was born and raised in Joplin, and I am a registered nurse and taught nursing in Joplin in Arizona. My husband is Larry Filosa. We live in Arizona. We have 2 children and 1 grandson named Cyrus. We are here today to celebrate my maternal grandmother, Levina Beighley. She was born and raised in Kansas. Severy, Kansas, I believe, is the town that she was born in 1882. She had 5 sisters, and they all lived in Joplin. My grandfather was William Ammerman. He was a miner. He died very young. My grandparents had 1 daughter, my mother, Esther. Now back to Grandma Ammerman Beighley. She looked for people who wanted to know Jesus and be saved by him. And she was fearless in the Lord's work. She was an ordained Christian minister at Central City, and she worked in Iron Gates and Park Plaza and in the 1950s, and she was fearless in all of the work she did. There was never a time, except for thunderstorms, that my grandmother was afraid of something. She was not afraid of probably animals, but not people. Grandma was only fearful of those famous Midwestern rainstorms we have. Now, grandmother invented a product called mentholine. It was similar to the Vicks or cough medicine that we have on the counters today. And she said she was given the formula from God. She bought bottles and ingredients known to her by God, and only God could do that for someone. And she sold that product in Joplin for many years. And I can still in my mind see the black and orange colored labels that she had on those bottles. And she took those bottles, and they were sterile, and they told her what to do to them, and she sold that product in Joplin. And as I said, she was inspired by God to put that formula together, which amazes me in itself. My grandmother was inspired by God to bring Jesus to the Christian churches in the 1950s, and she was in her later 50s and early 60s when she was doing that. She had been widowed twice at that time. She was a professional musician, and she played the piano beautifully and played by note, of course, not by ear, and didn't have to read all of her notes all the time. She could just memorize it and play it. She taught music lessons many years, and she was taught by the Sisters of Mercy at the convent, and we have had Catholic sisters in this area, and she was taught piano lessons, and she was a beautiful musician. I hope through the story of my grandmother's life in the service of the Lord that she can inspire others to use their talents and gifts from God, because we all have it. Remember, we all can be used by the Lord to help others in little ways that are so important. We are all given special gifts within ourselves to share daily with others. And I can share that I've been a registered nurse and taught nursing for many years and enjoyed it immensely. And I love student nurses because they were always scared and they were always needing to have assurance, and I don't blame them, because the profession of nursing and being in hospitals and around doctors is sort of scary. So I've enjoyed that aspect of my life. We are blessed to be able to celebrate 100 years at Central City Christian Church. God's work continues on through all of the ages. We are all given gifts of ourselves to share. And God bless everybody that's coming to this beautiful centennial and this wonderful reunion and this active community. I'm impressed, and I'm sure heavenly bodies are looking down at us today and saying, in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s, I did those things, and in 2021, look at all these people still working and serving God. So God bless you, and God bless Central City Church in the future, and thank you very much for letting me do this presentation, being the granddaughter of Reverend Levina Beighley.